Chapter 1. Reproduction in Plants. Children, till now it is known to you that all living beings reproduce. So do plants also. Plants are all around us and they support life on the earth. Plants take carbon dioxide during photosynthesis and give out oxygen, essential for humans and animals. Plants provide food to living beings. You humans get many things from plants, like cereals, pulses, vegetables, fruits, wood, gum, oil, medicines, and perfumes. Plants also check soil erosion. Without plants, you cannot think of human and animal life. So, you must grow more and more plants. Reproduction in plants. Living things have a definite lifespan. They die after completing their lifespan. For example, a mosquito lives only for a week. To continue their existence, all living beings reproduce. So plants also reproduce in many ways. Plants reproduce in the following ways: from seeds, from spores, and from their body parts. New plant from seeds. Some plants have only flowers. Some plants bear flowers which change into fruits. Flower and fruits contain seeds. Some seeds are eaten by men or birds or animals. Some seeds get destroyed by strong winds and water. Seeds that get favorable conditions survive and grow into new plants. The structure of a seed. Take some seeds of bean, gram, and maize. Soak them for a day. Now observe the seeds carefully. You see that seed has three main parts: seed coat, seed leaves or cotyledons, and the embryo. Seed coat. Outermost covering of the seed is seed coat. It protects the developing embryo inside the seed. Cotyledons. If you peel away the seed coat, you will see leaves or cotyledons. Some seeds like bean, pea, gram, etc. have two seed leaves called dicotyledons, while maize, wheat, and rice seeds have only one cotyledon called monocotyledons. Embryo. It is the baby plant which is present between the two seed leaves. Embryo consists of a tiny root called the radicle and a tiny shoot called the plumule. The process through which a seed produces a baby plant or a seedling is called germination. When a seed gets right amount of air, water and warmth or sunlight, it produces a baby plant or seedling. Do an activity. Activity 1. Soak some gram seeds in water. After some time, they will absorb water and get swollen. Put these seeds on a piece of wet cloth tied over the mouth of a jar. Tiny roots will come out of the soft, moist seed coats and grow downward towards gravity. Later, shoots too will come out and grow upward towards sunlight. Gradually, the seedling grows into a plant. Dispersal of seeds. The scattering away of seeds from the mother plant is called dispersal of seeds. As the plants cannot move on their own, the seeds are dispersed by wind, water, animals, birds, insects, and by explosion of fruits. These are called the agents of dispersal. Let us study process of dispersal in some detail. Dispersal by wind. Some seeds are very light and have tufts of hair or wings. They are easily blown away by winds. For example, seeds of cotton, dandelion, and madar. Seeds of sycamore, maple, and hyptage have wings attached to them. Dispersal by water. Flowing water carries away fruits containing seeds inside. Whenever they get favorable condition, they grow into new plants. For example, coconut and lotus. The lotus fruit has a spongy part and the coconut has a thick fiber coat, which makes them light and enables them to float in water. Dispersal by animals. Animals and humans eat fruits containing seeds inside and throw their seeds. Some seeds have hooks, spines, or stiff hair which cling to furry bodies of animals and wings of the birds, or even to your clothes, and thus are carried away to long distances. For example, xanthium and tiger nail seed. Birds often swallow the seeds of fruits like apple, orange, etc. They also eat fruits like mango and throw its seed far from the mother plant, where they grow up. Dispersal by explosion. Some fruits burst out when they become dry. Thus, their seeds are scattered away. For example, seeds of pea, geranium, bean, and balsam. New plants from body parts. Some plants do not reproduce through seeds. They reproduce through their body parts like stem, leaves, or roots. This method of obtaining new plants from the roots, stems, and leaves of the parent plant is known as vegetative propagation. Through roots, carrot, radish, and dahlia plant roots can grow into plants. If you put them in soil and water, they will grow. Through stems. Some plants are grown from the pieces of their stems, known as stem cuttings. Cuttings have buds on them. If cutting is put under soil, it grows into a new plant after a few days. Plants like rose, hibiscus, and sugarcane are grown in this way. Through underground stems. Potato and ginger have eyes on them. Each eye changes into a bud under favorable conditions. If a bud is put under soil, a new plant grows. Onion and lilies have underground bulb-shaped stems. New plants grow when these bulbs are put inside the soil. Through leaves. Young plants arise along the edges of the leaves of some plants. When these leaves are kept in moist soil, their buds produce new plant. For example, Bryophyllum plant. Plants from spores. Some plants have no flowers and no seeds. They grow with the help of tiny spores. For example, fungi, ferns, and mosses. Agriculture. Growing plants on a large scale for food or other purpose is called agriculture. Large-scale growing of plants is called agriculture. To protect crops from insects and other harmful animals, people spray chemicals on them called pesticides. Farmers also use scarecrows to keep away birds and animals. Crop seasons. Only humans practice agriculture. A particular crop grows well in a particular season called crop season. Farmers grow different crops in different seasons. Kharif crop. Crops grown in summer, June to October season are called Kharif crops. These crops largely depend on monsoon. For example, rice, pulses, jowar, bajra, maize, and vegetables like brinjal, tomato, pumpkin, spinach, gourd grow well in summer. Rabi crop. Crops grown in winter, November to April, are called Rabi crop. They do not depend on monsoon. For example, wheat, pea, gram, and vegetables like carrot, turnip, radish, cabbage, and bean grow well in winter. Growing healthy crop. A healthy crop yields more. Farmers have to take care of their crops at every stage. They have to use healthy, ripe, and best variety of seeds, give right amount of water at right time, add organic as well as chemical fertilizers, remove weeds, unwanted plants regularly, protect the harvested crop from dampness, rats, birds, and other animals. Let us revise. Plants Chapter 2. World of Animals. Animals Animals are found almost everywhere on the earth. They live in plains, on high mountains, in snow, in deserts, and in deep oceans. A natural place where animals live, reproduce, and find food is called their habitat. Animals have adapted themselves to live in particular habitats. Animals of different habitats have different qualities. Here in this chapter, let me tell you how animals of different habitats perform different life processes. Breathing in animals. All animals respire. They take oxygen to get energy from food. Taking in oxygen and giving off carbon dioxide from the body is called breathing. Organs for breathing. Lungs. Birds, reptiles and mammals, including human beings, breathe with the help of lungs. Humans have 2 lungs inside the chest, which look like bags. When you take air through nostrils, it goes into lungs. They are full of tubes called blood vessels, which carry blood. In the lungs, oxygen of air goes in the blood and carbon dioxide is taken out, which is breathed out. Skin. Frogs are amphibians as they live on both land and in water. On land, they breathe through their lungs, and in water they breathe through their moist skin. Gills. Animals living in water like fish, crabs, etc. breathe dissolved air through their gills. They do not have lungs. Instead of lungs, they have gills, which are full of blood vessels. Fish take water through their mouth. This water passes through their gills, where oxygen dissolved in water is absorbed and goes into the blood. The gills also give out carbon dioxide into the water. Spiracles. Insects take in air through tiny holes in their bodies called spiracles. For example, cockroach. Body surface. Earthworms and some very tiny creatures breathe through their body surface. Feeding in animals. All living beings need food to live, to grow, and to keep them healthy. Different animals eat different types of food. They are adapted to the kind of food they eat. Animals that eat plants only are called herbivores, like sheep, rabbits, cows, zebras, deer, and other mammals. They have sharp front teeth for biting and large back teeth, molars, for grinding the food. Smaller herbivores, such as rabbits, rats, and squirrels, gnaw seeds and fruits. They are known as rodents. They have long, sharp front teeth. Animals that eat flesh of other animals are called carnivores. For example, lions, tigers, cats, and hyenas. They have very sharp, pointed front teeth for tearing the flesh. Their back teeth are strong with sharp edges to chew the flesh and bones. Flesh-eating birds, like eagles and vultures, are called birds of prey. They have sharp, hooked beaks for tearing the flesh. They have sharp claws for catching the prey. Animals that eat plants as well as other animals are called omnivores, like cats, dogs, bears, and humans. Movement in animals. Animals move in search of food, shelter, and to escape from danger. They move in different ways. Moving on land. Mammals living on land have legs for movement. Most mammals have 4 legs, 2 in front called forelimbs, and 2 at the back called hind limbs. Tiger, dog, cow, and cat move on 4 legs, while kangaroo and humans move on their 2 hind legs. Reptiles like lizards, crocodiles, or turtles crawl on land with the help of their short legs. The snake does not have legs. It moves by curving its body and pushing it against the ground. Legs of humans and dogs are different. A human walks erect on his limbs, known as legs. His forelimbs or hands can do a variety of work which a dog's forelimbs cannot do. Limbs of human beings are the most highly developed organs, miracle of nature. Moving in water. Fish in water uses its fins and strong tail to move in water. Turtles and tortoises have paddle-like legs. They push the water with these legs and move forward. Frogs also have webbed feet to push back the water to move forward. Moving in air. Birds like pigeon, parrot, crow, eagle, etc. move in air by flapping their wings covered with feathers. The body of birds is light, which helps it to fly. Birds use their two legs to perch on tree and to walk or hop on the ground. Some birds like kiwi and ostrich have weak wings. That is why they cannot fly. Movement in insects. All insects have 6 legs. Ants and cockroaches use their legs to walk. Beetles, lice, and bedbugs use their legs to crawl on the ground. Some insects, such as grasshopper, use their powerful hind legs to hop on the ground. The water boatman uses its legs as oars to move in water. Some insects have wings and therefore can fly. Wasps and dragonflies have 4 wings. The housefly has only 2 wings. The wings of insects do not have feathers, bones, or strong muscles like birds have. Moving long distance. Migration. Some parts of the earth face extreme weather condition at particular point of time every year. It becomes very difficult for the animals living there to find food and shelter. In such conditions, they move to other places in groups to find food, water and shelter. In search of their basic needs, they travel to long distances. This is called migration. The Arctic tern breeds in Arctic during summers and travels a distance of 17,000 kilometers to the Antarctic during winter. It again goes back to Arctic to breed. The Siberian crane visits India every winter in Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. It goes back to Siberia in summer. Some whales migrate from polar region to tropical oceans to breed during winter. The monarch butterflies fly from Canada to Mexico in winter. Let us Chapter 3. Bones and Muscles. Children, you are a human. You people have some peculiar properties which the other animals do not have. It is better to know about your body. I will tell you now about a human body. Listen and watch carefully. The skeletal system. Framework of human body is called skeletal system. It protects the delicate organs like heart and brain. An adult human body has 206 bones of different sizes and shapes. The main parts of the human skeleton are the skull, the rib cage, the backbone, 2 pairs of limbs, and 2 pairs of girdles. The skull. Skull is a bony structure consisting of the brain box and the facial bones. Brain box, the upper portion of the skull, is made up of 14 bones. Only the lower jaw is movable in the skull. It enables you to chew food and speak. The rib cage. 12 pairs of thin and curved bones are called the ribs. These bones form a rib cage. It protects the heart and the lungs. All the 12 pairs of ribs are not attached to the chest bone. Ribs that are not attached to the chest bone are called floating ribs. The backbone or spine. The skull is attached to the backbone or spine, which forms the main axis of the skeleton. The spine is made up of 33 small bones. called vertebrae. These small bones together form the vertebral column, which allows you to bend and twist your back. The limbs. There are 2 pairs of limbs in your body. One pair of forelimbs or arms and a pair of hind limbs or legs. The upper bone of the arm is attached to the spine by the shoulder girdle and collarbone. Upper arm has only one bone called humerus, and the lower arm has 2 bones called radius and ulna. The bones of the legs are joined to the spine by the hip girdle. The upper leg has only one bone called femur or high bone. It is the longest bone in human body. The lower leg has 2 bones called tibia and fibula. The girdles. There are 2 pairs of girdles, a pair of shoulder girdles and a pair of hip girdles. The limbs are not attached directly to the spine, but to the girdles. The arms are attached to the shoulder girdle and legs to the hip girdle. The girdles lie on either side of the spine and are fixed to it. Functions of the skeletal system. This system has the following main functions. It gives shape and support to the body. It protects internal organs. Muscles are attached to the bones. Both work together to move body parts. Long bones of the skeleton are filled with a soft, fatty material called bone marrow. Blood cells are produced in bone marrow. There are 2 types of blood cells: RBC, red blood cells, and WBC, white blood cells. RBC carries oxygen to different parts of the body, and WBC fights the germs of diseases. Bones store minerals such as calcium and phosphorus. Joints. A joint is a place where 2 bones meet. They may be movable or immovable. Immovable joints. These joints do not allow any movement between the bones like bones of the skull. Movable joints. Most of the joints are movable joints which can move smoothly. There are 4 types of movable joints in your body. These are the hinge joint, the ball and socket joint, pivot joint, and gliding joints. The hinge joints are like the hinges in the door. Fingers, elbows, knees, and toes are this type of joint. They allow movement of the bones in one direction, that is up and down. The ball and socket joint. A ball-shaped end of one bone fits into the cup-shaped socket of the other bone. This joint allows the maximum movement. The hip and the shoulder joints are the example of this type of joint. Pivot joint. The joint between the skull and the spine is pivot joint. The uppermost vertebra is called atlas. This joint helps your head to move up, down, and sideways. Gliding joint. Bones of wrist and ankles have gliding joints. These bones allow to slide against each other in a gliding motion. Muscular system. All the muscles together form the muscular system. This system helps you to move and to do work. Muscles are made of special tissues that can contract or shorten when they receive signal from the brain. The muscles are attached to bones by stretchy tissues called tendons. There are about 650 muscles in your body. Muscles help you to bend your arms and knees, push food into digestive canal, chew your food, and make your heart beat. Kinds of muscles. There are 3 kinds of muscles in your body. These are voluntary muscles. Most of the muscles in human body are voluntary muscles. Their actions are under control. Muscles of the tongue, arms, legs, and feet are voluntary muscles. You can dance, run, jump, and smile with help of voluntary muscles. Involuntary muscles. Actions of some of your body muscles are not under your control. These are called involuntary muscles. They control the flow of blood, the movement of chest, and the movement of food in the digestive system. You cannot control your stomach muscles. Involuntary muscles are controlled by the brain. Intestine and stomach have involuntary muscles. Cardiac muscles. These muscles are present only in the heart. These are not under your control. These muscles are not joined to any bone. These muscles work throughout your life and never get tired. How do muscles work? Muscles produce movement in the body by pulling on the bones. Therefore, two separate muscles are needed to move a joint. Muscles work by contracting and relaxing. When a muscle contracts, it becomes shorter and thicker. When it relaxes, it becomes longer and thinner. Movement of arms are controlled by two muscles, biceps and triceps. If you want to pull up your arm, biceps joined to arm in front contract, while triceps joined at the back of the arm relax. If you want to lower your arm, biceps relax while triceps contract. Let us revise. Chapter 4. The Nervous System. Human beings have developed parts of the body. How do you see, hear, smell and taste? How do you think and dream? How do you remember different things? How do you feel pain and pleasure? You do all this with the help of your nervous system. Nervous system. This system is one of the most important systems of your body. It controls all your body system. Its main parts are nerves, spinal cord and brain. Nerves. Networking of nerves runs through your body and it works as telephone wires. They connect every part of the body with brain and spinal cord. Nerves are of three kinds: sensory, motor and mixed. Sensory nerves. They carry messages from the sense organs, ears, eyes, tongue, nose and skin, to the brain and the spinal cord. Motor nerves. They carry orders of brain and spinal cord to different parts of the body. Mixed nerves. They carry message to the brain as well as bring orders from the brain. Spinal cord. It is a thick bundle of nerves which runs down the center of the spine. It starts from the back portion of the brain and ends almost at lower end of your backbone. It is protected by the vertebrae of the vertebral column. Reflex action. An automatic movement in response to a stimulus is called a reflex action. They are controlled by the spinal cord. These actions are very fast. For example, if you touch a hot object accidentally, you withdraw your hand immediately. Blinking of eyes with changing lights and watering of mouth, seeing or smelling good food also are reflex actions. Brain. It is a delicate organ inside the hard and bony skull. It is control center of your body. It controls and coordinates all your actions. A clear fluid filled between the brain and the skull. This fluid acts like the cushions and prevents brain from jerks and blows. Human brain has three parts: cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla or the brain stem. Cerebrum. It is the largest part of the brain. It's responsible for learning, memory, logic, intelligence. It also controls memory and feelings. Cerebellum. It is situated below the cerebrum. It controls muscle coordination and maintains body balance. Medulla or the brain stem. It controls all the involuntary activities like breathing, heartbeat, swallowing and sneezing. Functioning of the brain. When the stimulus is sensed by the sensory organs, these organs carry the message to the brain with the help of sensory nerves. Brain processes this message and generates appropriate response to the message it receives. Then, this response is sent to the muscle or body part to act accordingly with the help of motor nerves. Sense organs. You have some special organs which help you to know about the outside world. There are 5 sense organs in your body: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. The eyes. Eyes are very important sense organs which help you to see. Each eyeball sets in a deep bony socket. Eye is protected by the eyelids and eyelashes from dust and dirt. The front circular transparent area of eye is called cornea. The colored circle in the eye is called iris. The pupil, a black spot, allows light to enter to the lens. A sensory nerve called optic nerve connects eyes to the brain. Care of the eyes. Your eye is very delicate and the most important organ. Always care for your eye. Follow the tips below. Wash your eyes with clean water many times a day. Do not read in dim light, very bright light, and in a moving vehicle. Keep a distance of at least 6 feet while watching TV. Do not watch TV for long periods. Do not read lying down. Do not rub your eyes with dirty hands or clothes. Tell your elders if you have some problem in seeing. The ears. The ears help to hear sounds and keep the balance of the body. Outer ears help to receive and direct sound waves to the inner ear. Care of the ears. Do not insert sharp or pointed object into your ear. Do not let water enter into your ear. Consult the doctor if you feel problem in the ear. The nose. Nose helps you to smell. There are many nerve endings in the upper part of the nose, sensitive to smell. Care of the nose. Blow your nose to keep it clean every day while bathing. Breathe through your nose and do not pick it. Use a hanky while sneezing or coughing. The tongue. Tongue helps you to taste and speak. Surface of tongue is covered by taste buds. These buds can detect 4 major tastes: sweet, salty, sour, and bitter. Food tastes better when you smell it. Food does not taste good if you have a cold. Care of the tongue. Do not eat and drink very hot or cold food. Clean your tongue with a tongue cleaner. The skin. Skin covers all your body. It protects internal organs. Sensation of touch, heat, pain or pressure can be felt with skin. Pores in the skin allow waste to come out as sweat. Care of the skin. Take bath every day with soap and water. Dry yourself after bathing with a towel. Use clean clothes according to the climate. Consult your doctor if you have any problem of the skin. Let us revise. Chapter 5. Food and Health. Need of food. Children, all living beings need food to get energy, to grow, and to be healthy. Food has various nutrients such as proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamin and minerals. Proteins. Proteins help body to make new cells. New cells are needed to grow and to repair damaged cells. Pulses, eggs and meat are the source of proteins. Carbohydrates and fats. Fats give energy and keep your body warm. Vegetable oil, butter and ghee give you fat. Carbohydrates also give energy. Fruits, potato, sugar and bread provide carbohydrates. It is always better to consume vegetable fat than animal fat. Vitamins. Vitamins keep your body fit and healthy. They are needed in small quantity. Without vitamins, diseases can occur. Fresh fruits and vegetables provide vitamins. Some important vitamins are vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, and vitamin D. Minerals. Minerals also protect you from diseases. They are required in small quantities. Milk, fruits and vegetables give you minerals. Roughage. Besides these nutrients, you also need water and roughage to remain healthy. Fruits and vegetables provide roughage. It helps to get rid of undigested food. Good health. Good health means good body and a sound mind. Good health enables you to do better always. Here are tips for good health. Do exercise daily. Keep your environment clean and hygienic. Eat balanced diet. Take adequate rest. Drink clean water. Disease. Disease is an unhealthy condition of the body or mind. A diseased person feels sad and depressed. He does not eat properly and becomes weak. He is uninterested in doing any work. Diseases are mainly of two types: non-communicable or non-infectious disease and communicable or infectious disease. Non-communicable diseases. These diseases do not spread from person to person. They are caused due to the following reasons. Deficiency diseases. Diseases caused by deficiency of nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals in your diet are called deficiency diseases. Table shows some of the deficiency diseases. Vitamins, some food sources, main uses, symptoms of deficiency diseases. Vitamin A. Red, orange, yellow and dark green vegetables like carrot, pumpkin and fruits like apple, ripe mango and also eggs. Healthy skin, good for the eye. Eye diseases, night blindness. Vitamin B, brown rice, ground nuts, eggs. Helps the body to break down carbohydrates. Helps the functioning of the nervous system. Pain, numbness and tingling. Sensation in fingers and toes. Berry. Vitamin C, citrus fruits like oranges and lime, tomatoes. Helps the body to absorb iron. Keeps gums and skin healthy. Skin diseases, loose teeth, scurvy. Vitamin D, sunlight, milk, eggs. Sea fish, bow legs, rickets. Keeps teeth and bones healthy. Helps the body to absorb calcium. Malfunction of body organs. When a body part like liver or kidney does not work properly, it is called malfunctioning of the body organs. Pollution-related diseases. Some non-communicable diseases occur due to pollution in environment. For example, smoke and fumes of vehicles and factories can cause lung and heart problems. Also, smoking is very bad for heart and lungs. Communicable diseases. Communicable diseases spread from person to person. These are caused by microorganisms called germs. Some of these diseases are: serial number 1. Germs, bacteria, diseases: cholera, tuberculosis, typhoid, pneumonia, tetanus, meningitis. 2. Germs, viruses, diseases: polio, common cold, flu, chickenpox, dengue, AIDS. 3. Germs, protozoa, diseases: malaria, dysentery. 4. Germs, fungi, diseases: food poisoning, ringworm. Spread of communicable diseases. These diseases spread from sick person to a healthy person. This can happen in the following way: through the air, cough, cold or tuberculosis germs present in the throat and lungs come out while sneezing and coughing and mix in the air. When a healthy person inhales that air, germs of diseases enter the body to make it ill. Common cold, diphtheria, viral fever, whooping cough and measles spread through the air. Through contaminated food and water. Cockroaches, housefly and rats may spoil food and water if not kept well. Eating or drinking this contaminated food and water can cause many diseases. Typhoid, diarrhea, cholera and jaundice are some diseases which spread by contaminated food and water through direct contact. Touching an infected person and its clothing can cause disease to another person. Chickenpox, whooping cough, measles and ringworm spread by direct contact. Through insects. Insects like mosquitoes, fleas and bugs also spread diseases. They bite a sick person and suck infected blood. Now if they bite a healthy person, germs pass into healthy person. Mosquitoes spread malaria, dengue, and rat fleas spread plague. Through damaged skin, germs can easily enter the body if the skin is cut or damaged. Tetanus germs spread through damaged skin. Prevention of communicable diseases. Hygiene. Hygiene means cleanliness and good health. Good health prevents diseases. Following steps help maintain proper hygiene. Bathe daily. Also, wash hands with soap before having food and after going to the toilet. Brush your teeth twice daily. Take proper care of hair and trim your nails. Keep surroundings clean. Vaccination. Vaccination prevents communicable diseases. Vaccines, when injected into the body of children, the body produces substances capable of fighting the germs of the diseases for which a vaccine has been made. This is called immunity against a particular disease. Vaccination is given between the ages of 0 to 10 years. Other precautions. Keep the patient fully isolated from rest of family members and visitors. Towel, utensils, and other items of patient should be kept separate. Toilets should be kept neat and clean. It should be washed by phenyl or toilet cleaner. Keep all eatables covered. Boil water, cool it, and then drink. Keep your house and surroundings clean. Chapter 6. Soil. Soil. Children, as you know, soil is the uppermost soft layer of the earth which supports plant growth. All living beings depend on plants mostly for food, so you are also dependent on the soil indirectly. Formation of soil. Soil is formed by breaking up of rocks into tiny pieces by the heat of sun, moving wind and running water. This is called weathering. Rocks have cracks in which water enters. In cold weather, this water turns into ice and expands, thus breaking the rock. Over millions of years, repeated weathering breaks rock into small pieces and further to fine particles. These particles mix up with dead and decaying matter, humus, and form soil. Composition of soil. Soil is made of the following things: gravel, sand and clay particles, minerals, humus, organisms like fungi and bacteria, water, air. Soil erosion. Sometimes topmost fertile layer of the earth's surface is blown away by wind or water. This process is called soil erosion. It makes the land unfit for growing plants. Agents of soil erosion. Reasons by which soil erosion occurs are called agents of soil erosion. They are: running water. It causes maximum soil erosion. Floods and heavy rain remove the topsoil of the fields. Wind. In open lands, strong winds blow away the top fertile soil, thus causing soil erosion. Human beings. Human activities are also responsible for soil erosion. These activities are deforestation. Cutting down of trees at a large scale is called deforestation. Tree roots hold the soil. When tree is dead, topsoil becomes loose and is blown away. Overgrazing. When animals like cattle, sheep, and goats graze a particular area again and again, they eat up most of the green grass and plants. So, soil becomes loose and can be carried away by strong winds or flowing water. Soil conservation. Protecting of soil from erosion is called soil conservation. You can protect it in following ways. Promoting afforestation. Planting of more trees in place of cut down trees is called afforestation. Plant more and more plants in place of cutting down trees. Cover plants. When land is not being used for farming, it is good to cover it with growing grass and other plants. The grass and plants hold the soil and prevent erosion. Checking overgrazing. Animals should not be allowed to graze on the same area of land continuously for a long time. Step farming. In hilly regions, rapid flow of rainwater carries away fertile soil. It can be prevented by step farming. Steps are cut in the hill slopes. It is also called terrace farming. Steps reduce spread of water, thus prevent erosion. Constructing dams and embankments. Dams and embankments along river banks prevent floods, thus conserve soil. Formative assessment. 2. Intelligence test. Find the names of 6 deficiency diseases in the word maize and encircle them. Summative assessment. 1. Tick the correct option. Write T for true and F for false statements. Chapter 7. Rocks and Minerals. The earth is made up of soil and rocks. They are on the surface of the earth, called crust. Layer of the earth below crust is called mantle, and below that is core. All rocks are made up of minerals. On the earth, the rocks are formed in 3 ways. Depending on the way of formation, rocks can be classified into 3 types. Igneous rocks. Igneous comes from Latin word ignis, which means fire. The earth's core is made of hot and liquid rocks. This is called magma. When a volcano erupts, the magma comes to the surface. It is called lava now. It later cools and solidifies to form igneous rocks. The earth crust has 95% of igneous rocks. Minerals like quartz, mica, and feldspar are found in igneous rocks. Different types of igneous rocks form depending on how magma cools. Types of igneous rocks. Different igneous rocks have different minerals and are of different colors. Granite. Slow cooling of magma under the surface of the earth forms granite rock. It is very hard and crystalline. It is used as building material. It is of various colors. Obsidian. Quick cooling of lava forms obsidian rocks. It is smooth, glossy, black or dark colored. It is used in making jewelry and ornaments. Pumice. It is a light grey or creamy colored stone having holes. It is formed when lava is frothy with lot of air inside. It can float on water. It is used for making lightweight building materials. Basalt. When lava cools very fast, basalt rocks are formed. It is fine-grained and glossy rock. Sedimentary rocks. Small pieces of rocks which have settled down at the bottom of river and ponds, form layers, are called sediments. As more layers build up, layer below gets squeezed together. The pressure hardens these layers into rocks. Such rocks are called sedimentary rocks. Types of sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks are of various types. Sandstone. It is a soft stone formed of sand particles joined together. Mineral quartz is found in it. It is used in making buildings. It has been used in Red Fort of Delhi. Conglomerate. This rock has rounded stones like pebbles, gravel, and even boulders cemented together. It has coarse grains and can withstand weathering. It is orange or grey in color, used in construction and in ornaments. Shale. When layers of clay harden, they form a soft rock called shale. It is used in making bricks and tiles. Limestones. It is made up of a mineral called calcite. Calcite comes from the shells and skeletons of tiny sea creatures. It is used to make lime, cement, linoleum, chewing gum, etc. Chalk is very common type of limestone rock. Metamorphic rocks. These rocks are formed due to physical and chemical changes in igneous, sedimentary or older metamorphic rocks themselves. These changes take place due to heat and pressure. Type of metamorphic rocks. Marble. When sedimentary rock undergoes change, marble is formed. It is found in various colors. It is used in making statues and other ornamental purposes. Taj Mahal of Agra is made up of white marble. Slate. Slate is also metamorphic sedimentary rock made of shale. It is grey and shiny. It is used to make blackboards and slates. Gneiss. It is formed from granite. It has different kinds of minerals in it, so it has a striped look. It is used as a building stone. Quartzite. It is formed by metamorphosis of sandstones. It is very hard and weather resistant. It is used in glass and ceramic industry. It is also used to make jewelry, ornaments and statues. Fuels. Substances that give energy is called fuel. Coal and petroleum are valuable sources of energy. Both are found deep under the Earth's surface. Coal. It is a type of sedimentary rock. Remains of plants in swampy forest died and buried under layers of mud and sand millions of years ago. More and more layers deposited one over the other. Due to heat and pressure on the layers below, they gradually changed to form coal. Petroleum. It is formed by dead remains of animals in the sea. When these animals died, they sank to the bottom of the sea as sediments. Heat and pressure changed the remains into petroleum. Minerals. They are naturally formed material. Rocks are made up of minerals. Minerals are very important for industrial development. Gold, copper, iron, silver, salt, quartz are some of the minerals. Difference between rocks and minerals. All rocks are minerals, but all minerals are not rocks. Table below differentiates between them. Minerals. Minerals do not contain plant or animal matter. Rocks. Rocks may contain plant and animal matter. Minerals. Minerals usually have uniform color and shapes. Rocks. Rocks differ in color and shapes. Minerals. Some of them have crystals and are usually pretty. Rocks. They do not have crystals. Minerals. They are pure and have fixed composition. Rocks. They can be made of more than one mineral. Your body needs some minerals such as iron, calcium and sodium, though in very small quantities for healthy growth. In bulk, minerals are used for industries such as manufacture of vehicles, for fuel and for making jewelry. Uses of rocks and minerals. Rocks are used as building material for houses, schools, roads and bridges. Rocks give useful metals like copper, iron, gold and silver. Some rocks are used as precious gemstones, as diamond, ruby and sapphire. Minerals like sulfates and nitrates are used as fertilizers. Electronic machines have parts made of mica. Chapter 8. Air and Water. Children, as you know, air and water both are essential for living beings on this planet. Air is all around us. You cannot see air, but you can feel it when it blows. Blowing air is called wind. Atmosphere. The thick layer of air all around the earth is called atmosphere. As you go higher up, amount of air lessens. Atmosphere is divided into 5 layers: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere, according to height. Stratosphere contains a layer called ozone layer, which protects living beings from the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. Composition of air. Air is a mixture of several gases. It contains about 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% other gases like carbon dioxide, argon, hydrogen, helium, neon, etc. It also contains smoke, water vapor, and dust particles. Oxygen. It supports life on the earth. All living things breathe air to get oxygen, but at places where oxygen is not or less available, as on high mountains and deep in water, people use oxygen cylinders. Nitrogen. Plants need nitrogen and get it from the bacteria in the soil. Animals and humans get it from plants. Carbon dioxide. Plants make food by photosynthesis using carbon dioxide of air and in turn give out oxygen. Water vapor. When water of lakes, ponds, rivers and seas is heated by sun rays, water changes into water vapor. Other gases. Very minute quantities of some gases like helium, neon, argon, ozone, etc. are present in air. Some of these gases are useful for humans. Properties of air. Air occupies space. Take a deflated balloon and blow air in it. Not its mouth. See, its size has increased. This shows air occupies space. Air has weight. Take 2 deflated balloons of same size. Inflate one of them. Tie both at the ends of a beam balance. You will see balance down on the side having inflated balloon, showing air has weight. Air exerts pressure. Take a glass full of water up to the brim. Place a piece of stiff card on the brim and quickly turn glass upside down using your hands. What happens? The water does not flow out of glass due to the pressure exerted by air on the card. But if there were air bubbles in the glass, water would have fallen off because of the downward pressure exerted by water. Air is necessary for burning. Take 2 candles, put them on the table and light them and cover one candle by inverted glass. You will see that after some time, covered candle goes off. The other candle continues to burn. It shows air is necessary for burning. Uses of air. Air is very useful for humans. Some important uses are: humans use air for breathing, for burning fuels. Compressed air is filled in tires of vehicle. Air is needed to hear sound. Moving air helps in the movement of ships, boats, parachutes, gliders, etc. Water. Water covers about 71% of Earth's surface, so Earth is called a blue planet. Water is also very essential for life. All living beings need water. 2/3 of your body weight is water. Loss of water from the body is called dehydration. Uses of water. Water is needed for drinking, for growing plants and crops, for bathing and washing, for cooking your food, to put out the fire. Impurities in water. Substances that make water unfit for use are called impurities. Impurities can be soluble, for example, germs, or insoluble, for example, mud. Impure water is not good for health. For drinking, water must be purified. Purification of water. To purify water, various methods are used, depending on soluble and insoluble impurities in it. Separating insoluble impurities. Insoluble impurities are removed by filtration and sedimentation. Filtration. By filtration, insoluble impurities are removed. A mixture of sand and water can be separated by filtration. A circular piece of filter paper is taken and folded twice to make a cone. This is kept in a funnel. A flask is kept below the funnel and mixture is poured in the funnel. Water gets filtered and sand remains on paper and clean water in the flask. Sedimentation. If you keep water mixed with mud in a jar for some time untouched, impurities settle down as sediments. This is called sedimentation. Separating soluble impurities. It is more difficult to remove soluble impurities than insoluble impurities. By evaporation and distillation, soluble impurities are removed. Evaporation. A solution of salt and water can be separated by evaporation. Heat the mixture. Water will evaporate and the salt remains in the water. Distillation. Distillation involves following steps. Impure water is taken in a round, bottomed flask and heated. On heating, water changes into steam and the impurities are left behind. When the steam passes through a condenser, it cools and steam turns into water. Pure water is collected in a flask. Distilled water is the purest form of water. It does not contain any impurities. It is widely used in medicines and batteries. Purification of drinking water. Drinking water needs to be purified. Below are some methods to purify the water. Boiling. If water is boiled for 10 minutes, all germs present in it are killed. It is safe to drink this water now. Boiled water should be kept covered in clean pots. Chlorination. If chlorine tablets are added to impure water, water becomes germ-free and safe for drinking. This process is called chlorination. Chapter 9. The Moon. The Moon, the only natural satellite of Earth. In previous classes, you have studied about the Moon. It shines because it reflects the light of the Sun. Let us know more about the Moon. Distance from the Earth. The Moon is about 384,400 kilometers away from the Earth. It is smaller than the Sun but appears to be the same size of Sun because it is much nearer to the Earth than Sun. Surface of the Moon. Moon's surface is rough and uneven. It is covered with craters, big mountains and valleys. Deep holes called craters are formed when meteorites crashed into its surface. The black spots you see on the Moon are the shadows of these craters. The surface of the Moon is covered with dark grey dust. Why there is no life on the Moon? Air and water are necessary for life, and these are not available on the Moon. So, no life is present there. The gravity of Moon is 1/6 of the Earth's gravity. Side of Moon which faces the Sun is extremely hot, and backside is very cold. Phases of the Moon. The Moon appears to change its shape every night. However, it does not really change its shape. Sunlight falls on the Moon, which revolves round the Earth, so the shape of the lit portion changes. You see different parts of it during its orbit around the Earth. These are called phases of the Moon. New Moon, Day 1. When the side of the moon facing you get no sunlight at all, you cannot see the moon. Crescent moon, day 3. As the moon advances in its orbit, a small portion of its side gets sunlight. Half moon, day 7. In a week, you can see half of the moon. Gibbous moon, day 10. After 3 more days, you see 3/4 of the moon. Full moon, day 14. In 2 weeks, the entire side facing you gets sunlight, showing the full moon. The phases reverse after this. Eclipses. You know that the earth revolves around the sun and the moon revolves around the earth. When these 3 heavenly bodies come in a straight line, the shadows are formed. These are called eclipses. There are 2 types of eclipses, lunar and solar. Lunar eclipse. It occurs when Earth comes in between the sun and the moon. Shadow of the earth falls at the moon. It is called lunar eclipse of the moon. Shadow has 2 parts. One, where total sunlight is blocked, called the umbra, and the other, where some part of light is blocked, called penumbra. Solar eclipse. It occurs when the moon comes between the sun and the earth. Moon creates a shadow on the earth, and people living there cannot see the sun. This is called solar eclipse or eclipse of the sun. Man on the moon. The first spacecraft which successfully landed on the moon was Apollo 2. It carried 3 American astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Edwin Aldrin, and Michael Collins, on July 21, 1969. Neil Armstrong became the first man to land on the moon. His words on the moon were, "That one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." He and Edwin stayed for 2.5 hours on the moon and collected rock samples. These samples gave precious information about moon. The tides. The regular rise and fall of the level of water in the sea is called tide. Tides depend on the sun and the moon. Moon attracts the water level upwards and the sea level rises. It is called high tide. The same happens on the opposite side of the earth because of the earth's movement. So, both areas experience high tides. Between these 2 areas, water forms a low tide. A high tide and a low tide occur after every 12 hours. Highest tides occur at the time of new moon and the full moon. The knowledge of tides is very useful for the fishermen. Their ships can easily come to port in high tide and cannot easily come in a low tide. On a new moon and full moon, gravitational pull of the moon and the sun are combined. At these times, high tides are very high and low tides are very low. This is known as a spring high tide. Artificial satellite. Man-made machines which revolve around the earth are called artificial satellites. First artificial satellite was Sputnik, launched by Russia on October 4, 1957. Since then, hundreds of satellites have been launched. India has launched several satellites. INSAT 3E was launched on 28 September 2003. Satellites are very useful. They are of different types. Some are communication satellites like INSAT 3E, which are used to send telephone messages and television programs around the world. Weather satellites give information about weather, sunny, cloudy, rainy day, etc. Some satellites, called remote sensing satellites, take photographs of the surface of the earth to study about it. Cartosat is a remote sensing satellite launched by India on May 5, 2005. EduSat satellite was launched in September 2004 by India. It is being used to send educational programs all over India. Satellites are also useful for astronomers because they help them to know about the planets and stars. Chapter 10. Natural disasters. An unfortunate event that causes a great loss to life and property is called a disaster. Disaster may be natural and man-made. Natural disaster. When natural activities cause a great loss to life and property, they are called natural disasters like flood, cyclone, earthquake, landslide, drought, tsunami, etc. Man-made disaster. A disaster that happens due to a human or machine error are called man-made disasters like road accidents, rail accidents, fire, bomb explosion, etc. Here I will tell you about natural disasters. Earthquake. A sudden trembling of the earth's crust by sudden movements under the surface of the earth is called an earthquake. It can cause great damage. The study of earthquake is called seismology. The intensity of an earthquake is measured on the Richter scale by an instrument called seismograph. Precautions. Do not panic. Come out of your house and rush to an open area. If unable to move out, take cover under a table to protect yourself from falling objects. Do not stand under trees, electric poles, and high buildings. After an earthquake, wait for a few minutes to enter in a building. Volcanic eruptions. Sometimes molten rocks or magma is forced out of the rocks from the earth's crust with lots of smoke and ash. This is called lava. Lava is very hot and it causes a great damage. Tsunami. Tsunami means a very swift and powerful sea wave. These waves can be 20 to 30 meters high and travel up to 1000 kilometers per hour, causing great damage. Tsunami is caused undersea due to earthquake or volcanic eruption. Floods. When rainwater from rivers or dams submerges a large part of land, it is called flood. Floods occur in rainy season. It damages crops, roads, property and life. Floods disrupt water supply, communication, etc. It causes shortage of food and water. Due to unhygienic conditions, diseases like typhoid, malaria, etc. spread and cause epidemic. Precautions. Move to a safe place. Listen to the radio or watch television for warning and advice. Do not go into the water. Keep stock of food and fresh water. Keep a first aid kit ready. Drought. When there is no or very low rainfall in a particular area, then it is called drought. This causes severe shortage of water. Crops fail to grow, causing shortage of food. People die due to scarcity of food and water. It is called famine. Precautions. Learn to save and conserve water and grow more trees. Promote rainwater harvesting. Grow drought-resistant crops like sorghum, millets and maize. Landslide. Sometimes rocks and stones along with mud slide down the hills or mountains. This is called landslide. Landslides cause damage to property and communication network. Precautions. Do not panic and do not spread rumors. Be brave and encourage others to face the problem. Contribute and donate clothes, food, cash to relief agencies. Your role during a natural disaster. When a natural or man-made disaster happens, you have an important role to play. Always be brave and helpful to others. Also, do the following things. Encourage people to face the problem. Contribute food, clothes and cash generously to the agencies involved in relief work. Safety and first aid. Safety and first aid. Accident generally happens due to our carelessness. They can result minor to severe injury, maybe even result in the death of the victim. Accidents can happen at any time and place. You can avoid accidents by being alert. For this, you have to follow certain safety rules at different places. Let us study them in detail. Precautions at home. Never play with sharp tools and electric gadgets. Do not fly kite or play on the roof. Sometimes fire breaks out due to short circuit. Do not use water to put it off. Never tease your pet. It may bite you. Throw banana peels and other waste in dustbin to avoid slipping. Precautions on the road. Always walk to your left on the road. Do not try to get in or out of a moving vehicle. Do not play on the road. Play only in safe places like in playground and park. Cross the road at zebra crossing or use subway. Learn traffic rules and follow them. Precautions against fire. Fires can be very dangerous. Safety rules may be followed to prevent it. Never play with matchsticks and crackers. Store petrol and kerosene in airtight cans away from fire. Wear cotton clothes while working in kitchen. Switch off the gas stove when not in use. If clothes of a person catch fire, cover him with a blanket or thick cloth to cut off air supply. Putting out fires. It is very important to put off even the minor fire always, or it may become dangerous soon. If air supply is cut off or temperature of fire can be reduced, fire will be put off. Fire extinguisher is used to put out fires. There are many types of fire extinguishers. They contain carbon dioxide, CO2 gas or foam. The gas or foam surrounds the fire, puts it off by cutting air supply. For petrol or kerosene fire, throw sand to cut off air supply to the fire. Water should never be used. Petrol or kerosene floats on water, so fire may spread faster. For electric fire, first switch off the mains. Throw sand on the fire. Never use water or you may get electric shock. Electric fire is very dangerous. Always use good quality of electric appliances, including electric wires. First aid. The immediate help given to an injured person is called first aid. It can save the life of the injured person. Different kinds of injuries need different kinds of first aid. Let's know about them. Minor cuts and wounds. First, wash your hands when you give first aid. Clean the cut or wound with cotton soaked in Dettol or Savlon. Cover the wound with clean cotton dressing to stop bleeding. Deep cuts. First, wash the wound with soap and water. Take a thick pad of sterile gauze and press on the wound to stop bleeding. If bleeding does not stop, use tight bandage called tourniquet. Nose bleeding. During summer, nose bleeding is common. Follow these steps in case of nose bleeding. Get the patient sit comfortably on the chair with his head tilted back and arms folded above the head. Wrap ice cubes in a cloth and keep this ice pack on the patient's nose. This will reduce bleeding. Ask the patient to take breath through his mouth. Do not allow him to blow his nose. Fracture. Any break or crack in the bone is called a fracture. The fractured bone pains a lot. The affected area swells up. Never treat a fracture on your own. Only you can do is to keep fractured part unmoved. Follow these steps. The person with fractured bone should not be moved without proper support. Call the doctor immediately. Tie a splint which extends above and below the fractured bone to give support to the broken bone. If the fracture is in the hand, make a sling using a cloth or a bandage to give support to the arm. If the fracture is in the leg, tie a splint around the fracture leg. Do not allow the patient to move his or her leg at all. Move the patient on a stretcher. Sprain. Sometimes the joints get twisted and swell up. These are sprains. Sprains are very painful. For first aid, ice pack may be used. Rub Iodex or Relaxil on the joint 2 or 3 times a day. Wrap a crepe bandage around the joint. Burns. One can get burnt from fire, boiling water or milk, crackers and chemicals. In case of minor burns, apply cold water or ice cubes on the burnt area. Also, apply an antiseptic. In severe cases, take the victim to the hospital immediately. Animal bites. The saliva of animals like dogs, cats, monkeys, wolves and jackals contains viruses of a very dangerous disease called rabies. When these animals bite someone, rabies viruses can enter victim's body. So treat animal bite immediately as early as possible. Wash the wound with soap and water. Apply an antiseptic cream on the wound. Take the victim to the doctor for anti-rabies injection. Snake bite. When a snake like cobra or krait bites someone, its poison travels through the blood of the victim to the heart and brain, causing death. Apply a tight bandage just above the bite to stop flow of the blood to the heart and the brain. Do not move the victim. Any movement will cause poison to spread faster in the victim's body. Try to get the poison out from the wounds as quickly as possible. You can do this by making a cross cut about ½ centimeter deep over the bite with a blade and by sucking the blood. Take the victim to the doctor immediately. The doctor may give anti-venom injections. Poisoning. Boot polish, nail polish, paints, detergents, naphthalene balls and some medicines, if swallowed, are poisonous and often deadly. Such things should be kept out of the reach of children. In case of poisoning, try to make the victim vomit. Rush the victim to a doctor. Give first aid quickly. Let us revise. Chapter 12. Simple Machines. In your daily life, you do various jobs like cutting paper or cloth, tightening or loosening of screw, or opening the cap of a cold drink bottle. To do this, you use various tools which make your work easier. These tools are called simple machines. There are 5 main types of simple machines: lever, pulley, screw, inclined plane, and wheel and axle. Let me tell you in some detail. Lever. It is a rod free to move about a fixed point. This rod can help you to move a heavy load without using much force. The rod is a lever. A lever has 3 points: load, L, effort, E, and fulcrum, F. The object to be lifted or moved by a lever is called load, L, or weight, W. The force applied on a lever to move, lift. The object is called effort, E, or pressure, P. The point at which a lever turns is called fulcrum, F. Classes of levers. Levers are of 3 kinds, depending on the fulcrum, load, and effort. First class levers. In this class, fulcrum F is in between the load L and the effort. Scissors, claw, hammer, and pliers are first class lever. Second class levers. In this class, the load L is in between the fulcrum F and the effort E. Bottle opener, wheelbarrow, and nutcracker are second class levers. Third class levers. In this class, the effort E is in between the fulcrum F and the load L. Fishing rods, ice tongs, and forceps are the third class levers. The inclined plane. An inclined plane is simply a slope over which a load can be pushed up. You may have noticed that sliding down a smooth slope is faster and easier than climbing up the ladder. Slope is an inclined plane, while ladder is not. Some other inclined planes are sloping wooden plank, ramps, slides, staircase, etc. The pulley. A pulley is a wheel with a groove around its outer edge with a rope round it. Pulley helps the load to lift by changing direction of the force applied. A pulley is used for drawing water from the well. A rope passes over it, and its one end is pulled downward, so load moves upward. A pulley is also used to lift heavy engines of vehicles. Flags are hoisted using a pulley. The screw. A screw looks like a nail with grooves cut into it. It has a winding edge called threads. This winding edge is actually an inclined plane wrapped around a rod. It helps to hold or fix wooden planks and other things together. The screw jack. A screw jack also works on the principle of a screw. The slope of the screw jack is used to lift cars and trucks. Activity. Aim. To prove that a screw is an inclined plane, things required: a pencil and a sheet of paper. Method. Cut out right-angled triangle from a sheet of paper. Color the inclined edge black. Wrap the paper around the pencil as shown in the figure. Result. The inclined edge of the paper can be compared to the threads of a screw. This shows that a screw is actually an inclined plane. The wheel and axle. A wheel and axle has a large wheel connected to a small rod. They are fixed so that they move together. If wheel is moved, axle also moves. Sewing machine, cars, grinding machines, bicycles, and egg beaters have a wheel and axle arrangement. The wedge. It is a V-shaped piece made up of metal. It has two inclined planes meeting at a sharp edge. An axe, sword, blade, and knife are some examples of wedges. The sharp blade of a wedge helps in cutting and splitting things. Let us revise. Chapter 13. Interdependence in Nature. Children, you see many kinds of living and non-living things all around you. Living things are called biotic components. Bio means life. And non-living are called abiotic components of environment. Thus, the environment is made up of both biotic and abiotic components. All living things depend on both the components for their survival. Living things depend on abiotic components. Both animals and plants respire, consume air to get energy from food. Plants make food by taking carbon dioxide from air during photosynthesis. Water is also essential for animals and plants. Plants need soil to grow. Soil provides them support, water, and minerals. Soil also provides shelter to ants, rabbits, earthworms, and centipedes. The sun is the main source of energy on the earth. Plants use sunlight to cook food and store it in leaves, stems, and fruits, etc. Sunlight also provides warmth to plants and animals for their survival. Living things depend on each other. Animals and plants depend on each other. Let me explain it. Animals, including humans, depend on plants. Herbivores eat plants, so they depend on plants directly. Carnivores eat flesh of herbivores, so they are indirectly dependent on plants. Omnivores eat both plants and other animals, herbivores, so they are dependent on plants both directly and indirectly. Plants provide shelter to birds and animals. Birds build nests, spider knits webs, and bees make hive under trees. Zebra, deer, elephants live under trees. Animals depend on plants for oxygen. When plants make food during photosynthesis, they give out oxygen. Animals need this oxygen to breathe in. Life is not possible without oxygen. Plants depend on animals. Plants also depend on animals for many things. Plants need carbon dioxide, which is given out by animals in respiration. Insects carry pollens of plant from flower to flower when they eat nectar of flowers. Thus, plants produce seeds with the help of animals. Animals disperse plant seeds. Animals eat fruits and seeds and carry them to far-off places with their droppings. Animals provide manure for plants. Excreta of animals are good manure and provide minerals, nutrients to plants when added to the soil. Thus, plants and animals are dependent on each other. This is the interdependence in nature. Food chains. Food chain means who eats what in nature. All food chains start from plants. Plants use sun energy to grow. Plants can make their food, so they are called producers. Animals consume plants, so animals are called consumers. Herbivores like cow, horse, deer, etc. eat plants. They are called primary consumers. Carnivores that eat herbivores are called secondary consumers. A food chain operates in nature at the same time. Nature and human activities. Man is constantly disturbing nature. He has cut forests so carelessly that many animals have disappeared and many more are facing the danger of disappearance. Destruction of forests have reduced total rainfall and increased soil erosion. Excessive use of pesticides and fertilizers has caused water pollution. Due to water pollution, many aquatic plants and animals have become extinct. So a balance in nature is essential. Otherwise, life will not survive on the earth. Restoring balance in nature. To restore the balance, here are some steps taken by government. The Indian government has set up some wildlife sanctuaries where hunting is not allowed. This helps in protection of wildlife and restore balance. Some of them are Pratisht Sanctuary, Kerala; Bandipur National Park, Karnataka; Kaziranga National Park, Assam; Kanha National Park, Madhya Pradesh; Corbett National Park, Uttarakhand. In some parts of India, rainwater harvesting has been made compulsory to increase groundwater level. In factories, it is compulsory to install equipments that reduces the amount of harmful gases and smoke given out by factories. Vehicle manufacturers have to install catalytic converters in vehicles to convert poisonous gases to non-poisonous gases. Natural resource: air. All living beings breathe oxygen from air. Oxygen is used up for breathing and burning. Plants supply this oxygen. Plants take carbon dioxide from air to prepare their food. Thus, air is an essential natural resource for life. To conserve air, pollution should be reduced. Here are some methods to conserve air. Plant more trees. Trees will take carbon dioxide and give oxygen. Harmful substances of industries and automobiles should be converted to useful substances. Smokeless stoves for burning coal, kerosene, etc. should be used. Use CNG and LPG. Water. Water, a prime natural resource and is essential for survival of life. As availability of water is limited, there is a shortage of it all over the world. So, water should be conserved. Here are some tips to conserve water. Do not waste water. While brushing, washing your face and hands, do not leave the tap open. Stop leakage of pipes. Close taps tightly. Sewage and liquid waste of industries should be treated first to clean it. Then allow it to mix in rivers or lakes. Groundwater level should be increased by harvesting rainwater. Soil. Soil is another important resource that supports the growth of plants. Soil erosion has increased by deforestation, making of cities and farms. Soil should be conserved. You have studied the methods of preventing soil erosion in Chapter 6. Forests. Forests provide food, clothing, shelter, and fuel to animals and humans. They prevent soil erosion and protect wildlife. They maintain ecological balance on the earth. Nature replaces the die-out trees, but man is cutting the trees at much faster than they can be replaced. So, plantation is the need of today. Fuels, petroleum, coal, and natural gas are the main fuels used by humans. These are obtained from under the ground, but are not being replaced by natural process. So, fuel conservation is a necessity. Nowadays, humans are using sun energy to cook food, heating water, and making electricity. Minerals. Useful chemical substances obtained from the earth are called minerals. Reserves of minerals are also limited. To conserve minerals, recycle them. Broken glass bottles, metal cans and paper should be recycled. Man and conservation. Human beings are the most intelligent species on the earth. They are using natural resources for food, shelter, and for their luxuries. Due to rapid industrialization and overexploitation, pollution of natural resources has become a global problem. In order to control overexploitation and pollution of the natural resources, government has enacted many laws and legislations. But only these efforts will not do. People should be educated through social, cultural, and religious organizations against pollution and exploitation of natural resources. Let us revise. Formative assessment 4. Intelligence test. Summative assessment 2. Tick.